All right, joining us here on the Rich Eisen Show is the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. Kind enough to join us. He is Nick Sirianni. How you doing, Coach? Good to see you.
Hey, Rich. How's it going?
I'm great. We were just talking before you were sitting down about the T-shirt you wore in September of 2021, where it was Hurts on your shirt. You know, and you still have that T-shirt, Coach?
Oh, I got so many T-shirts like that with our guys on it.
You got that one?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one. The reason why I do that. Let's talk. The reason why I do that. I think it's a very easy way to connect with guys.
Yeah.
My brother is a college football coach in the Pittsburgh area, and he has more T-shirts, and he's 9 years older than me. And he's been the head coach there for, I want to say, like 22 years. He has more T-shirts of different Western Pennsylvania high school football teams than I ever imagined. And I asked him one time, I said, Mike, I know your players are giving. I know you got a guy from Thomas Jefferson. I know you got a guy from Bell Vernon or whatever. Why are you wearing all these? It's like, it's a really easy way just to connect with the guys. When you wear their T-shirt, it's just an easy way to connect, and that's what we're about.
Well, I also just remember the circumstances. Again, there you were in your first year as the HC, and there was question whether Jalen was the guy, and certainly the way that the season ended before, with him being taken out in the last game and all that craziness, and it was a significant moment. And I'm just wondering if he needs that sort of coaching, say now, when he's now Jalen Hurts, the guy there in Philadelphia. Does he need that sort of stuff from you? Do you think?
You know what's great? Yeah, I think so. You know what's great about Jalen is he's been the same guy from day one. And we coach him hard every day, no matter what. And I know he appreciates that. And he comes to work every day the same way every day, no matter what. Win, lose, up for MVP, not up for MVP, coming off a 2-game losing streak, coming off a 2-game winning streak. And so we just try to be consistent with who we are at all times, no matter what. And we're in a little bit of adversity right now, right? The whole world knows that. We're going through some adversity right now with our last two outings. But I know this about this group and Jalen is that we've all been through adversity in our lives, and we all know how to respond. And first and foremost, it's about admitting what we do and our mistakes, and then getting up, and let's go again, because nobody's going to feel sorry for you.
No, for sure. And I'm sure you might hear some narratives about your organization and your team out there, Coach. And the idea is that Jalen is off because he's not 100% physically, and that perhaps there was even a suggestion by my colleague at NFL Network, David Carr, sitting him until he's 100%. How do you view that concept, Coach?
Yeah, he's played some good football. He's played some really good football. I would say that we're definitely not sitting him. We're definitely not doing that. And because Jalen is one of our best football players, and he gives us a great chance to win every time he steps out there. Do we all have plays that we want back from this year, or games that we want back? Yeah, me included. And we all have those, and that's the ebbs and flows of the year. But we also understand, when you're on a 2-game losing streak, some of these criticisms are going to come. And, it's our job to just, again, like I said, get back up, learn from our mistakes, and get better from them. Because we know sometimes it's a week-to-week thing here in the NFL. Like, we play good next week. We play good the week after that. All we're worried about is playing good this next week. But it is a week-to-week thing at times, and we know we've put some really good products out in the field. We have beaten some really good football teams, and we just got to get it going again. And it's as simple as that. And it starts with me as the head coach, and then goes to the players.
And of course, obviously, if you do say win out, and if you're talking about playing well and you do win out, and San Francisco does lose one more game, you could still be the 1 seed. I mean, that is still out there for you to grasp. The question I have for you is how do you clean these things up? I understand the play better and just be better mentality is something I've been around coaches for such a long time, is the reality of it. But how do you affect something like that, Coach?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Again, you want to repeat. Am I going to give away all the secrets of what we feel like we're going to do here? No.
Okay.
I do respect the question. You got to try, Rich. You got to try. You've been doing this a long time. You got to try to get that answer from me. But we have different thoughts of. And one thing is, you always want to try to do the things you're doing well, and repeat those things, and do again, what is it? What's your identity? What are you doing well? That doesn't mean you don't do different wrinkles off of that. That doesn't mean you don't do other things, but you always want to try to identify that and repeat those things. And what do your guys do well? And that's our job. Like, so I always put it on myself as a coach first, is that we got to put them in positions to succeed first and foremost. Because we definitely have the guys in this building to go out there and execute. There's no doubt in my mind.
So obviously, you're not giving away the details, but does that mean folks in Philadelphia shouldn't make up their own signs and stand outside your facility and stand out there for messages to you, like to run the ball? Should they just save the paint or the poster board? Coach?
You know what? I love this fan base, passionate fan base. Yes. And you know what? They got it. They're going to say how they feel, right? They're going to say how they feel. They're going to say how they feel when we're not playing well. They're going to say how they feel on Sundays when we are playing well to that opposing team as well. So you can't have one without the other, in my opinion. And hey, listen, criticism is a good thing. You might not like criticism as a coach, as a player, but can you identify the criticisms that are granted and that you need to fix and improve on, right? And can you block out the criticisms that are a little bit crazy, right? And that's an art. That's a skill, because, and you got to be able to do that, because that's what I'm doing as a head coach. Like, I'm getting up there and I don't want to say criticize, but I'm making corrections of what needs to happen, both with the coaches and with the players and with myself. And so if we're all stuck to this, I'm not taking this criticism, then you can't grow, right? And again, it's like, you laugh. It's like you got to know what criticisms to block out, and you got to know what criticisms that you can think on and ponder on for a little bit.
Well, the reason why I'm laughing is I'm from up the Turnpike, originally in Staten Island, Nick, and I know you better have that gene in you if you want to coach and be successful where you're coaching. I mean, you better have that. I mean, because I've seen so many coaches of all sports, baseball, basketball, hockey, get spit up and chewed out in the Northeast if they cannot do what you just said. That's why I laughed. I know that mentality, but I'll take one more swipe at this with you.
And Rich, I'm from I'm not going up the Turnpike. I'm going west in Jamestown, New York. That's where I'm from. So I'm used to that criticism as well.
I know. I'm out here. I live out here in Southern California, and sometimes people think I'm angry just the way I talk. I'm like, no, that's just my inflection. Hey, that's just the way I talk.
You know what? I feel the same way.
So I will take one more swipe at it. So you said that there are some criticisms that you think that are maybe warranted. Which criticisms do you feel, or critiques that you feel are warranted with your team? Coach,
again, we have to play better, and there are, there's going to be criticisms when you're not do we need to run the ball better and run the ball more? Yeah, we do. Now different games circumstances, require different things, but we know what we got to do. We know what type of team we are, and we have to put the guys in positions to succeed in the run game more. And we got to get some more calls going with it. Again, that every game, I will do it. But I say this, Rich, yes, we got to run the ball more. But if we feel like the best thing to do this next game is to pass it 50 times to win, we'll do what we think we need to do to win. And that's, and that's my job as the head coach. And so that's just one, for instance, Rich. I know there's a lot of criticisms right now after the last few games, but that's just one, for instance, to, that it's been more of a topic that I know that I've had to address.
Couple more minutes left with the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni, here on the Rich Eisen Show. What is the, genesis of the brotherly shove play? When did you first come up with this? Where did you draw some X's and O's from to come up with this formation and keep doing it, Coach?
That's a great question,
Thank
Rich.
You.
When Frank Reich and I got back, Frank Reich and I coached together in San Diego. I stayed in San Diego. He came to be the offensive coordinator at Philadelphia. They had tremendous success with the quarterback sneak with Carson Wentz, and a lot of the same characters up front with Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson with quarterback sneak. So we get to Indianapolis, and obviously you talk about the things that you've done well at different places since you've been together. And we said that quarterback sneak's got to be part of it. Now, We had a big bruising quarterback in Jacoby Brissett. If you replay some of his quarterback sneaks, they're some of the best quarterback sneaks you've seen. Now, Jalen, I would argue, is better than anybody at that. And so it really was ironic. It started in Philly. They continued to do really well on it. Frank brought it to Indy, and then we just, we're back here in Philadelphia. And so what's happened with it is there's been different variations. Like there's been a lot of different variations of things that happen off of it, whether that's an extra pusher, whether that's the complements of plays that you run off of it. And so that's what's been fun about it. Like, and shoot, I feel like, Rich, we're giving you guys in the media a lot to talk about with this play, right? Like, and so because it's a popular topic, and so, we just have taken a lot, and make no mistake about it. Why are we good at it? Why can we do the compliments off of it? Why is it getting the attention that it gets? Well, because of Jason Kelsey, Landon Dickerson, right? Cam Jurgens, Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, right? Jalen Hurts, right? That's why we're good at it. And that's why we're better at it than anybody else in the NFL. These guys have a will to go out and do it and make the plays to do it. And they're making plays. I know it's ugly and I know it looks messy, but there's a major art to how these guys are going out and fundamentally doing their job. Because you see it around the NFL. Not everybody can do it the way we do, and you don't see people try. I mean, why do we try? Well, because we have the confidence in it to do it because of those guys up front and Jalen Hurts.
Well, it's a huge advantage. I mean, again, just to be straight up, and then then I'll let you go on your day. Is that when I first saw it, I'm like, this is ugly. It's a rugby play. It's tough to officiate, and I didn't like it. But then I'll be honest, I've completely come around on it because
we got you.
You did.
Yes.
You did. Maybe I should wear a T-shirt, or I'll give you one.
I got about 70 of those T-shirts, Rich. Oh my goodness, they come from every direction.
I might be a large, extra large, depending on the snugness.
I'm going to send you one.
Because I'm going to send you. I appreciate it because I've asked so many of your colleagues as to why does it work. And I've heard a lot of the names. Like, first of all, you got to have a quarterback who's 240 pounds and a guy who's a center who's your Hall of Famer. And then you do have to have other guys. But I had Kelsey on this show the other week, and he said, you're getting more live reps of it in a game than most other teams probably even attempt to practice it because they don't want to spend precious practice time doing it. It is a huge advantage. So my last question to you would be your thoughts on the word that maybe Roger Goodell doesn't like it and wants it out. And wants to legislate it out. What do you say there?
Hey, we'll play by the rules of whatever it is. I can't be in control of that. All I can be in control of is what's going on here in our thing. I know what you're trying to do, Rich.
No, I'm not.
I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
I don't mean you. But right. I guess let's take the commissioner out of it. What if the competition committee gets together and says it's out? I mean, what would you say to that? Because that's your colleagues in the room right there.
I'll cross that bridge when we have to get to it. I will. Okay. Don't make any mistake about it, Rich. Like, until then, I'll have an opportunity to speak on it probably, and I'll make my case, right? I'll make my case on it. And it works at all levels. Like, my brother's a chairman of high school football back in New York, and he's sending me clips of guys, teams in the area running it. And then, we had a little bit of a stall in our Pee Wee football game that my son was playing in. He's playing quarterback. It was a little bit of a stall. We're near the goal line, and we got a stall. And I happened to be standing close to the sideline. I said, "Hey, coach," right? And we got it in. Jacob Sirianni scored on the quarterback sneak. So it's good for football. That's what I'll say.
Put him on a T-shirt. Fantastic. I love it. Listen, Maryland did it 3 times against my alma mater, Michigan. I'm seeing it's at every level right now. So, okay. I appreciate the time, Coach. Greatly appreciate it. Let's do this as often as you're up for it. I appreciate it. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks for having me, Rich.
You got it. Good luck in Seattle. That is Nick Sirianni, the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. If it's good for the Eagles, it's good for his son. It's 1st and 9 for his son's Pee Wee team, too.
Shout out to Jacob. Pushing the kids.
Jacob 1st and 9 for all Sirianni levels of football.
That's funny.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.